And a special shout out to everybody else passing through. YouTube, what's good? Alright, so I had to do a quick blog on this recent news story I just came across. I guess it happened just before the weekend or over the weekend. It was a few days ago. The black man out of St. Louis who was trying to walk into the building where his condo is, and a white woman, someone he does not know, apparently one of his neighbors, was blocking the entryway. She was standing in the threshold to the building, not allowing this man to come in. Now, supposedly the video is going viral. News story, some local news networks have picked up the story. It's even gone to the point where this woman who worked for a media company, if I'm not mistaken, that is minority owned. They got hold of the story, they got hold of the videos, and they fired this woman. Now, I saw the video, and I'm going to put the link to the video in the description box of this channel, of this video, so y'all can go take a look at it if you haven't seen it already. But I'm pretty sure by now most people have probably seen it, heard about the story. It's all over Facebook, it's all over YouTube. So go check it out if you haven't seen it. It's going to be in the description box of this video. Listen, it's more of the same shit, and it's eerily close to the whole Botham Jean case. This woman, she seemed like, to me, a little bit like she was off. I don't know if it kind of sounded like she was slurred a little bit in her speech. I don't know if she was drunk, high on pills, I don't know. But it's just fucked up, increasingly more and more in this country in 2018. People are so emboldened, by their prejudices and by their assumptions on anyone who is brown or black, that they don't belong in certain areas. I don't know, this woman just assumed that, this black man couldn't afford to live in this condo or this neighborhood. I don't know what her issue was. It's kind of funny to me because the story does not mention how long this man lived in this condo, and that would tell me that he must have lived there for at least a long enough period of time for other people in the building, obviously, to know that he lived there. I mean, of course, he doesn't have to prove that to anyone. The fact that this woman never came across or never seen him, I don't know what that exactly means. But for her to stop him and ask him what unit number he lives in, what floor he's on, the shit's just crazy. And I gotta salute to this man because this man, Mr. Tolis, because if that was me, I'm sorry, I would have got belligerent. I'm sorry. Like, why the fuck are you on my way? Like, get the fuck out of my way, or I'm gonna move you out of my way. That's just how I give it up. Like, at no point in time do you have the right to block my lane of travel. I'm walking into my building. You're not police. You're not security. I don't need to prove to you that I live here. This is where I am, regardless. Even if he did not live there, but even if he just knew somebody who lived there, if he had a family member or a friend who lived there, I don't give a fuck what the reason was. He was not in the commission of a crime. That woman had no right or legal recourse to be in his fucking way. And what's funny to me is this woman called the cops, and everything's on video. It's just I give respect to this man for the fact that he was able to keep his calm and keep his cool and not get belligerent, because in my opinion, if he would have had every right to. I understand why he didn't, and I salute to him for it. I just don't know if I would have had the same patience, because you're not about to, I don't deal with that type of shit well. You're not about to racially profile me. You're not about to assume that because of how I look that I must not live here. I must be visiting someone. It's just going to be okay. The second you physically put your body in my personal space and you're preventing me from going to my destination, we got a problem. This woman called the police and told the police she felt uncomfortable. The police showed up and actually spoke to this man. Now, I don't know what the conversation was, what transpired between the police and this man. I know that there was not an issue. He wasn't arrested or anything, but my statement would have been, look, I live here. I don't know why you guys are here. There's no reason for you to be here. Have a nice day. And I would have closed my door and went on about my business. Because why are you continuing? Once I tell you I live here, there was no reason for this woman to call you. There's no reason for the police to continue on questioning or telling this man what what the woman said about her being uncomfortable. None of my business. I'm not responsible for your comfort level just because you don't like the way I look, or just because you think or assume that I don't live in this building. Like, once, she took it too far, but once she went on the elevator and followed this man to his apartment, saw him open the door with his key and go inside, the shit should have stopped right then and there. But this is exactly how so many situations, with unarmed men, black men, Hispanic men in this country are shot dead by police also, and they're doing nothing wrong. And all this woman had to say was, oh, there's this guy here and I feel uncomfortable. And the cops come showing up like there's a problem. It's fucked up, and it's frustrating. And increasingly I become more and more angry, when these situations continue to happen. We've already seen now the pinnacle of how bad this shit can get, where an unarmed man living in his own apartment, home, minding his business, watching TV, having a meal, gets shot dead by a police officer who claims that she went into the wrong apartment. And now you can't even walk into your apartment. So when I saw this video, I started thinking, this can't be the first time that this has happened. So I started doing a little research online, and sure fucking enough, I came across multiple videos where people had similar stories. Be it black men, black women, being racially profiled, people assuming that they don't live where they live, I don't know, because of the neighborhood, because of maybe they think they can afford to live there. Listen, people just need to mind their fucking business. And my thing is, my biggest reason for this video, and my biggest issue is, at what point is the law going to start to offer protection? Look, the police have to respond to calls that they get. I fully understand that. And once the police ascertain that there's no issue here, that there's really no reason why we should have been called, not only should that be the end of it, because in these cases that I found, including the one where we're speaking about, with this man not having a hard time being impeded from entering into his condo building, no charges are ever filed on these people who call the police. Like, this matter could have, if this man would have even been a little bit defensive, which he would have been well within his right to do as a U.S. citizen, as a resident in that building, he had every right to say, fuck out of here, get out of my way, I'm not talking to the police. Like, he would have been well within his right to do that. And if the police would have decided at that point, that he was resisting or wasn't complying, and they tried to arrest him, they would have fucking been wrong. And of course the law would have been on their side, even though that would be a fucked up situation and a 100% clear infraction against this man's civil rights. Thankfully it didn't happen. The point, though, is that because of how these matters can escalate, because of how we've seen these situations escalate, why are there never any charges filed against the people who call police for no reason? Like, not only are you wasting taxpayer dollars by calling the police just because of your prejudices and racism, but you're also preventing the police from potentially being free to take calls to go to situations where they may really be needed. And so what I'm saying is, there have been several cases where people have called the police knowing that there was no reason for them to do that, and situations ultimately led to people being killed for no reason, not even being in the commission of a crime. Just a couple weeks ago, I came across a news story where there's a former police officer. Oh no, she's not even a former police officer. She's still wearing a badge, has not been fired, and she called and reported a false police report, called 911 and reported a false crime being committed of a few black people supposedly holding up a liquor store. And they get approached by police, guns drawn on them and everything, before the police find out that there was actually no situation and that these people weren't doing anything wrong. And this person, not only was there no charges filed against her for a false police report, she also is still a police officer. There are just so many clear violations of rights among certain people. Now, if this was a black man or a black woman who was standing in the way of a white man or a white woman from entering their building or their condo, saying that I don't think you live here, I don't think you belong here, and the police were called, I don't think that white or black, but that white man or woman would have been questioned. I don't think that they would have been, you know, I don't think it would have been a situation where they would have had to have been verified. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want the law to be applied equally across the board. You call the police, you file a false police report or a false complaint. There are laws on the books that say that you can be prosecuted. No, it's not a serious crime, but you should be prosecuted because there needs to be consequences for people who continually do this shit. And the shit is really leading to people being falsely arrested, people then having records, people being, tased, shot, killed, and it's just a situation that it doesn't have to happen. And I came across this video, wanted to know what y'all think about it. Go watch the shit. I don't see any way, shape, or form where anybody could see this woman being, in her right mind. And I don't see any way, shape, or form where anybody can see that this woman is not in the wrong. And I definitely want to give all the respect and a salute to the company this woman worked for, who is not standing for this shit. They released the COO released a statement and said, listen, we don't play this shit, basically. This woman is no longer employed with our company, because our actions were just ridiculous. And they were. Like, you're all in, and this is part of the problem that I have, because this narrative is painted when it comes to black men. We're so scary, we're so intimidating. People are so afraid of us. We have to be extra careful and go out of our way to come across as gentle and to come across, not come across like we're, imposing. And this woman gets all in this black man's face. And he's calm, he's cool, he's patient. But my point is, if he hadn't have been, would the story be different? Would the story be, oh, belligerent black man, attacks? Like, come on, man. Like, this shit gotta stop. It's fucked up. We live in a world, in a country in 2018 where everybody has the right to stand their ground. Everybody has the right to, defend themselves, defend their personal space, except for if you're black or brown. This shit don't make no sense to me. It don't. This man didn't know who this woman was. Just being in that close proximity to that man, he was in danger. That woman could have had a knife on her, could have had a gun. He even said it himself. Like, potentially, he could have been shot. For what? Just for coming home from work and trying to, walk through his front door, the front door to his building. This shit needs to fucking stop. And I believe that charges should be filed against this woman for that's harassment. If I impeded anybody, me, the way I look, my skin, if I impeded someone from walking into their home because I believed, supposedly, that they didn't live there, I'm not a police officer, I'm not a security guard, I'm not a super of the building, I'm not charged with, questioning people or looking out for that property. That's not what my job is. I'm just another tenant. And I'm impeding someone from going into their home. Like, you're right in my face, you're following me, that's harassment. But this woman was not charged. And I'm pretty sure that she will not be charged. And it's just another case, another situation that gets looked over. But the second, my people do something, the second something happens where the blame can be pointed at us, the finger can be pointed at us, it's like we're criminals and we're monsters. And I'm not saying that there are not criminals and monsters in the world. Of course there are. What I'm saying is that the law should be equal and it should equally apply to everybody. And that's clearly not the case, the way I see it. Hey, yo, y'all know me, man. I don't pretend to know everything. I just know what I know. Go check out this video. Link in the description box of this video. Let me know what y'all think about this one. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace and love.